Is just, for me, she's the GOAT. Like, she can put her in front of anyone, and her distance control, the way she fights, her strategy when she's in there, it just is above anybody else's. Like, she adapts so quick to someone's style. So I feel like I should never really have kind of swayed a little bit.
Particular. That was a big deal, like the hard launch. You know what the hard launch is? Kids call...
Ariel, we're not on Love Island. Next question.
I mean, you guys showed up on the broadcast. It was just like, it wasn't...
Next question.
Okay, I'm just saying it was big news. I thought it was, a lot of people were excited about it.
Of course, excited. Some people upset, you know.
No, who would be upset?
Ariel, I'm a fighter. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, I mean, it was on a PFL broadcast, right? I think that...
That's not my choice.
Okay, you didn't see the camera in front of you.
I'm on all the PFL broadcasts. They put me everywhere.
Dakota Ditcheva, the undefeated PFL sensation, has just dropped a massive bombshell about UFC champion Valentina Shevchenko's fighting style. And trust me, this is not what fans expected to hear from someone who's called Shevchenko her idol for years. Ditcheva's brutally honest comments, her injury setback, the fantasy superfight that might never happen, and Valentina's potential Twitter response to all of this drama. Let's get into it. Dakota acknowledged everything Shevchenko has accomplished, saying she wants to go out on top. Like, has anyone really done what she's done? She's completed all the rubies on her belt, plus more. She's at the top, but the age she's at and the way she's fighting at the moment, it's incredible anyway.
Maybe a little bit, yeah, but I mean, she wants to go out on top. Like, has anyone really done what she's done? She's completed all the rubies on her belt, plus more. Like, she's at the top. The age of her and the way she's kind of fighting at the moment is just incredible anyway. But
first, let's talk about the unfortunate news that has fight fans disappointed. Dakota Dangerous Ditcheva was scheduled to face Denise Kielholtz on February 7th at PFL's highly anticipated return to Dubai at the Coca-Cola Arena. But here's the kicker. The 27-year-old British phenom has been forced to withdraw from the bout due to a broken hand. This is a devastating blow for fans who were eagerly waiting to see the undefeated champion back in action.
Very difficult to put away.
Yeah,
Right. That'll do it! Dakota Ditcheva with the third round finish!
what a finish, beautiful work. Hard shot to the body, she's still hurt. Still can't breathe.
Listen to what Dakota told Ariel Helwani. Maybe a little bit, yeah, but she wants to go out on top. When there's money on the line, people change. For me, I hope one day I don't do that.
I suppose people want that, like, killer in them, don't they? They don't want people to lose it, but when there's money on the line, people change. I mean, for me, I hope one day I don't do that. I feel like the switch in me that I have probably would never kind of just play it safe. I would just always be that person that kind of goes forward. But then again, when you're someone like Valentina and you've got that much of a legacy, she doesn't want to go out without being on top, right? So
if you remember, Ditcheva last fought in July 2025, defeating Sumiko Inaba by unanimous decision. After that fight, Dakota made it crystal clear she wanted to stay as active as possible. She even expressed frustration with the PFL for failing to find another opponent later in 2025.
Against defense with body shots.
Combination again, punching her way out of these clinches.
Inaba not able to match speed on the outside.
Crashing in again.
Oh, beautiful knee.
Oh, the clinch is really working for Ditcheva. She gets the turn, and the knee finds its way to the face of Sumiko Inaba, and an elbow from Dakota.
Inaba can't take a lot of those knees.
And just when it seemed like she'd get back in the cage in February, this injury happened. It's a tough break, literally, for one of MMA's most exciting rising stars. But the real story here isn't just the injury. It's what Dakota had to say about the woman she's idolized for years. But here's the reality check Dakota gave us. Sometimes I do think about it. Yeah, I would love to have had that matchup. I really would. But you look at the other fights and people would be like, oh, Valentina was past it. She's been in it for years. And then if I was to lose, they'd be like, oh, she wasn't ready. There was too much hype.
sometimes I do, yeah. I would love to have had that matchup. I really would. But like, you look at all the other fights and people would be like, oh, Valentina's past it. She's been, in it for years and this, that and the other. And then if I were to have lose, people would say, oh, she wasn't ready. She was too much hype. Like, I feel like people want the fight, but there would be so many excuses on both sides to like who would end up winning. It's like, whatever.
For context, Valentina "Bullet" Shevchenko is the current UFC women's flyweight champion and is widely regarded as one of the greatest female fighters of all time. She's a two-time champion with 9 successful title defenses overall. Absolutely legendary resume. But here's the problem. Bullet has been catching some serious heat from fans lately. Why? Because she hasn't scored a finish since 2021. That's right, 4 years without a finish. Her last 3 fights against Manon Fiorot, Zhang Weili, and her trilogy with Alexa Grasso have all gone to decision. Fans have been saying her style has become boring, that she's playing it too safe. And now Dakota Ditcheva, someone who has repeatedly called Shevchenko her idol, has basically agreed with the critics. Whoa, did you catch that? I hope one day I don't do that. That's a massive statement. Dakota is essentially saying that Shevchenko has lost that killer instinct, that she's playing it safe for the payday. And more importantly, Dakota is promising fans that she'll never become like that.
Okay, you've got to get busy here. You've got to show me something.
And if you look at Ditcheva's record, she's backing up those words. She's 15-0 with 12 knockouts. She's been absolutely destroying opponents. She knocked out Taila Santos, the same Santos who gave Shevchenko one of her toughest fights, with brutal body punches in the second round to become PFL champion. Now, before you think Dakota is completely disrespecting her idol, let's be fair here. She did follow up those comments with some important context. So Dakota is giving Shevchenko her flowers. She recognizes the legendary status, the incredible achievements, and the fact that at 36 years old, Valentina is still dominating her division. She's just pointing out what everyone else is thinking. The finishes have dried up. And here's the thing, Dakota makes a valid point. When you're at the top, when you've accomplished everything, and when you're getting older, maybe the risk-reward calculation changes. Why risk everything for a flashy finish when you can cruise to a decision and keep your belt? But fans don't want to see that. They want to see the killer who knocked out Jessica Ai with that devastating head kick in 2019. They want to see the Valentina who submitted Priscilla Cachoeira, and Dakota is promising she'll give fans that excitement for her entire career. This brings us to the fantasy matchup that MMA fans desperately want to see, but probably never will. Dakota Ditcheva versus Valentina Shevchenko.
The planet right now, fantastic strikers, veterans, future legends of the game here.
For sure. Santos is in big trouble.
She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again for a championship.
Both fighters are in the flyweight division. Dakota is the undefeated PFL champion. Valentina is the UFC champion. On paper, this would be an incredible super fight. The young, hungry knockout artist versus the crafty veteran champion. Dakota is absolutely right here. It's a no-win situation for both fighters. If Dakota wins, people will say Valentina was past her prime. If Valentina wins, people will say Dakota wasn't ready and was overhyped. Plus, there is the promotional politics. Dakota just signed a new deal with PFL, and she's happy there. Valentina is locked into the UFC, and as Dakota pointed out, she doesn't see the UFC and PFL merging anytime soon. So at this point, with Shevchenko at the tail end of her career, and Ditcheva just getting started, this super fight is probably just going to live in our imaginations, which is honestly a shame because it would be fireworks. Now, as of recording this video, Valentina Shevchenko hasn't publicly responded to Dakota's comments, but knowing Bullet's track record, we could definitely see a Twitter response coming soon. Or maybe Valentina takes the high road and simply acknowledges Dakota's talent without addressing the criticism. Either way, this story has all the ingredients for some serious social media drama.
She was trying to pull guard and accept the takedown, and then she stopped doing that
and then Valentina made the adjustment. Now it's a terrible position. This easily could be the end of the fight here, and it may very well be.
Oh, that's it.
That's it.
And still the best in the world by a mile, Valentina Shevchenko.
What a dominant performance. And this leaves us in. One of those big improvements was making that move to 125.
Tonight's Prep Point brought to you by Crypto.com, the fastest growing crypto platform in the world. Download now.
Her boxing is outstanding, her timing is excellent, and she's adding submissions to her game now.
Absolutely. She is this very reserved, quiet person outside the octagon, but the moment those octagon door closes, she is an absolute savage. Tremendous striking, much improved jiu-jitsu, and a mentality now.
This UFC champion, Alexa Grasso, is one of the most feared women in combat sports today. The former flyweight champion has built her reputation on precision striking, championship experience, and an unshakable composure that has carried her through wars with the world's best fighters.
Yeah, no, that was Alexa Grasso.
Oh, hard right hand by Grasso. Escobar backpedaling for the first time. Grasso punching up some punches. It's all over her left hand. Grasso moving.
But now, Alexa Grasso has sent a massive bombshell message to rising star Dakota Ditcheva, and Dakota has fired back with a response that has the MMA world buzzing. Is a super fight between these two elite strikers on the horizon? Let's break down what was said and what it means for women's MMA. In a recent interview, Alexa Grasso addressed Dakota Ditcheva directly, and her words carried a mix of respect and subtle challenge. Here's exactly what the UFC champion said. Well, I think she has one of the best buddies in MMA, and I really wanted to have one like that. I'm still working on that, but it's amazing, you know, because she's a veteran and I saw her fights. When I didn't fight in a big time, I was like, wow, those girls are amazing. And now to fight, I'm fighting with her. It's a pleasure and it's really a blessing for me.
Well, I think she has one of the best bodies in the MMA, and I really wanted to have one like that. I'm still working on that, but it's amazing, you know, because she's a veteran, and I saw her fights, and I was when I didn't fight in a big time, I was like, whoa, those girls are amazing, and now I'm fighting with her. It's a pleasure, and it's really a blessing for me.
Now, at first glance, this might seem like pure respect from Grasso, and to some degree it is. But if you read between the lines, there's something else happening here. Grasso is acknowledging Dakota's talent while simultaneously positioning herself as the seasoned veteran, the one with championship experience, the one who has already conquered the biggest stage in MMA. It's a subtle psychological play. Grasso is saying, I respect you, but I've been where you're trying to go, and I know what it takes. That's the mindset of a champion who has fought killers like Valentina Shevchenko, and it's a reminder that Dakota, despite her dominance, hasn't faced that level of competition yet. Dakota Ditcheva didn't back down. In fact, her response showed exactly why she's considered one of the most dangerous rising stars in women's MMA. Here's what she said. People see that when I win this season now. And you know, say I beat someone like Liz Carmouche and Talia Santos. As soon as I've beat them, I think what else can people expect other than greatness for the rest of the year? And you've got to be like that, you know. And it's about time that I actually believe in what I can do.
When I win this season now and, you know, say I beat someone like Liz Carmouche and Talia Santos, as soon as I've beat them, I think what else can people expect other than greatness for the rest of the year, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you've got to be like that, you know, and it's about time that I actually believe in what...
She continued, people say to me, oh, she's not fought this person. She's not fought that person. Well, or they say to me, she's running through all these girls because they're not very good. But if you put these girls against other people, they have close fights, whereas when you put them with me, I finish them early. So I make it look easy sometimes.
People say to me, you know, oh, she's not fought this person, she's not fought that person. Well, or they say to me, you know, she's running through all these girls because they're not very good. But if you put these girls against other people, they have close fights. Whereas when you put them with me, I finish them early, so I make it look easy sometimes.
This is confidence at its peak. Dakota isn't just defending her record. She's making a case that her dominance isn't about facing weak competition. It's about her skill level being so far ahead that she makes elite fighters look ordinary. That's a bold claim, but when you look at her finishing rate and the way she's demolished opponents, it's hard to argue. Dakota is essentially saying, I don't just beat these fighters, I finish them in ways others can't. And that's the calling card of a future champion. But Dakota wasn't done. She took to Twitter to send another message, and this one had the MMA community fired up. While the exact tweet wasn't disclosed in detail, the implication was clear. Dakota Ditcheva is ready for anyone, including Alexa Grasso.
The planet right now, fantastic strikers, veterans. Future legends of the game here.
For sure.
Santos
is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again for a championship.
This is the new generation making their presence known. Dakota has the Muay Thai pedigree, the finishing ability, and the hunger of someone who knows they're destined for greatness. She's not waiting for permission to call out champions. She's stating her case and daring the best to step up. And here's the thing, Dakota has earned the right to talk like this. She's undefeated in her professional MMA career. She's finished nearly every opponent she's faced, and she's doing it with a style that's both beautiful and brutal. Her striking is elite, her clinch work is devastating, and her confidence is sky high.
You know, the damage so far in this fight, it's been one-way trap.
Oh, nasty knee off the middle from Dakota. And a flurry down to the body. Here's the elbow. Back elbow. And now a left hand. And she's showing off now.
So what happens if these two actually fight? Let's break down the stylistic matchup. Dakota Ditcheva brings youth, speed, and explosive finishing power. She's long for her division, incredibly rangy, and uses her reach better than almost anyone. Her Muay Thai background makes her deadly in the clinch, and her ability to land elbows, knees, and kicks from unusual angles gives her an unpredictability that's hard to prepare for. Dakota overwhelms opponents with pressure and volume, and she rarely lets fights go the distance. Alexa Grasso, on the other hand, brings championship experience and technical perfection. Her boxing is textbook, her footwork is clean, and she has the kind of composure that only comes from fighting the absolute best in the world. Grasso doesn't rely on power. She breaks opponents down piece by piece with combinations, timing, and smart defense. And as she showed against Valentina Shevchenko, she can adapt mid-fight and find ways to win even when things aren't going her way. The key question is this: can Dakota's speed and aggression overwhelm Alexa before Grasso's experience and composure take over? If this fight happens early in Dakota's UFC career, Alexa might have the edge. But if Dakota gets a few more years of elite-level experience, this becomes a true toss-up.
Have you seen that really pretty girl that fights in the PFL? What's her name? Dakota Ditcheva. She's from England, but she is like, most of her fights win by knockout. She's this Muay Thai specialist, but she's pretty. And
sounds
she just
awesome.
Fucks these girls up.
That's it.
Fucks these girls up.
Joe Rogan, the legendary UFC commentator and combat sports expert, was left absolutely stunned after watching Dakota Ditcheva's brutal knockouts. We're talking about a fighter with a perfect record who's dismantling opponents left and right, and Rogan couldn't contain his amazement. But here's where it gets really interesting. Rogan emphasized that Ditcheva represents something bigger than just fighting. He said, and I quote, "She's gorgeous. She looks like a model. It has nothing to do with men beating each other up. It has nothing to do with brutishness. It has to do with high-level problem solving with dire physical consequences."
Against defense with body shots.
Combination again, punching her way out of these clinches.
Inaba not able to match speed on the outside.
Crashing in again. Oh, beautiful knee. Out of the clinch is really working for Ditcheva. She gets the turn, another knee finds its way to the face of Sumiko Inaba, and an elbow from Dakota.
Inaba can't take a lot of those knees.
Joe Rogan's shocking reaction to Dakota Ditcheva's savage performances inside the cage. This British knockout machine has been putting people to sleep with devastating strikes, and when Rogan saw her work, he was blown away. We're talking about a perfect 15-0 record with 12 brutal knockouts that have the entire MMA world buzzing. So hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive into why Joe Rogan is so hyped about this unstoppable force named Dakota Ditcheva.
We live in a day and age where, women want to be equal. And believe me when I tell you, women have proved that they are equal. People love the women's fights, and they're so tactical and they're so good. It's just, I didn't see it coming. These women are unbelievable. They're very technical and very good.
And from the numbers that the audience responds?
No, the audience doesn't respond. The audience loves it. These women become big stars.
Joe Rogan has seen it all in combat sports. From the rise of Ronda Rousey to the dominance of Amanda Nunes, he's witnessed every era of women's MMA. But his recent comments about Dakota Ditcheva? They hit differently. On his platform, Rogan didn't just praise Ditcheva, he called her terrifying. And coming from someone who's watched thousands of fights, that word carries weight. He specifically highlighted her mindset, calling her a great example of what high-level MMA should look like.
The PFL is going to get people to pay attention. If the UFC went away, the PFL would probably take up the slack. I'm a fan of the best fighters in the world getting together. And whatever we have to do to facilitate that, that's what I want to see happen. There's one who's really interesting. She's terrifying. Her mindset, she's a great example. She's a gorgeous woman. She looks like a model. It has nothing to do with men beating each other up. It has nothing to do with brutishness. It has to do with high-level problem solving with dire physical consequences.
That's not just praise. That's Rogan acknowledging that Ditcheva is changing the narrative around women's MMA entirely. She's proving that you can be feminine, beautiful, and one of the most dangerous fighters on the planet.
The planet right now, fantastic strikers, veterans, future legends of the game here.
For sure. Santos is in big trouble. She's in big trouble. Dakota Ditcheva to the body again for a championship.
So who exactly is this fighter that has Joe Rogan so impressed? Let me break it down for you. Dakota Ditcheva was born on July 25th, 1998, in Sale, Greater Manchester, England. But combat sports isn't just something she chose. It's in her blood. Her mother, Lisa Howarth, is a multiple-time world kickboxing champion. Her father, Ivo Ditchev, is Bulgarian. Dakota grew up literally surrounded by martial arts, training in kickboxing, Muay Thai, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu from a young age. Before she ever stepped into an MMA cage, Dakota was already a champion. In 2016, at just 17 years old, she won gold at the IFMA World Muay Thai Championships in Sweden. She's a three-time world champion in the junior divisions and was named Daily Mirror and Sport England Pride of Sports Young Sportsperson of the Year. But here's what makes her special. She's proud of both her English and Bulgarian heritage. She regularly flies a double English-Bulgarian flag and travels to Bulgaria several times a year to visit relatives. Oh, and she's a die-hard Manchester City fan who celebrates her wins by copying famous City goal celebrations. That's my personality right there. In April 2021, Dakota made her MMA debut and immediately showed the world what she was capable of, a first-round stoppage. And that was just the beginning. Let's talk numbers because Dakota's record is absolutely insane. She currently sits at a perfect 14 wins and 0 losses. But here's the scary part. 12 of those wins came by knockout. That's an 80% finish rate. In July 2022, she signed with the Professional Fighters League, and that's where her legend really began to grow. In her PFL debut, she TKO'd Hassana Gaber in the first round. Then she knocked out Catherine Corrigines in the first round. It became a pattern. Dakota doesn't just win, she destroys. But the real statement came in the 2024 PFL Women's Flyweight Tournament. Dakota didn't just win the tournament, she demolished everyone in her path. In the semifinals against Gina Bishop, first round TKO, but the final was where history was made. On November 29th, 2024, Dakota faced Taila Santos, a former UFC title challenger and one of the most experienced fighters in the division. Santos had never finished in her entire career. Dakota changed that. In the second round, she became the first person ever to finish Santos with devastating body punches. With that victory, Dakota won $1 million, became the youngest champion in PFL history, and earned the distinction of being the first British female MMA world champion. Let that sink in. She's making history at just 26 years old, and even after winning it all, she hasn't slowed down. In July 2025, she defeated Sumiko Inaba by unanimous decision, showing she can win in different ways. She's scheduled to face Denise Kielholtz in February 2026 at PFL, Road to Dubai. As Rogan pointed out in discussions about fighting, the biggest mistake fighters make is fighting with emotion. When you get hit and react emotionally, you expose yourself. You leave openings. Your rhythm gets disrupted. Dakota doesn't do that. Her background in Muay Thai gives her devastating striking, especially those body punches that have become her signature. But she's also submitted opponents with rear-naked chokes, showing she's well-rounded. She fights with what Rogan calls high-level problem-solving. She doesn't just throw strikes, she executes a game plan with surgical precision.
Plum and a right hand.
Oh, another one! Big one! Dakota Ditcheva, right hand and a hand of face! Another knockout for Dakota Ditcheva!
And here's what's really interesting. Fighters aren't calling her out anymore. In her own words after winning the tournament, "Nobody actually calls me out these days, especially not after I won the tournament last year. Everyone's gone quiet. That's not trash talk. That's just facts. When you're that dominant, people avoid you." Now here's where things get controversial. The biggest question in women's MMA right now is, when will Dakota Ditcheva fight in the UFC? Social media has been buzzing with fans saying, Dakota Ditcheva is the biggest star in women's MMA right now. Everyone wants to see her in the UFC. But in 2025, she re-signed with the PFL, securing her future with the promotion.
Fighting out of the red corner, she's a Muay Thai specialist and stands 5 feet 8 inches tall. She went in officially at 125 1/4 pounds, and she holds a perfect, undefeated record of 10 victories and no defeats. She is the 2023 PFL Europe Women's Flyweight Champion. Fighting out of Manchester, England, dangerous Dakota Ditcheva!
In the world of combat sports, few moments hit harder than watching a fighter's dreams crumble before they even step into the cage. Dakota Ditcheva, the undefeated PFL flyweight champion and one of the promotion's brightest stars, has been forced to withdraw from her highly anticipated return at PFL Dubai on February 7, 2026. The 27-year-old British sensation was scheduled to face Denise Kielholtz in what promised to be an explosive matchup, but an undisclosed injury has shattered those plans, leaving fans devastated and Ditcheva herself in tears. This is more than just a cancelled fight. This is a crushing blow to a warrior who has battled through adversity all year long. Stay with us as we break down this developing story, hear Dakota's emotional statement, and explore what this means for the future of the PFL's flyweight division. The Professional Fighters League dropped the bombshell on Tuesday, December 23rd, announcing that Dakota Ditcheva would not be competing at their first event of 2026. The news came without warning, without details, and without a timeline for her return. All we know is that an injury has once again sidelined one of MMA's most exciting fighters. For fans who have been waiting months to see dangerous Dakota back in action, this announcement hit like a knockout punch. Social media erupted with messages of support, shock, and disappointment. Dakota Ditcheva was supposed to kick off 2026 with a bang, facing the experienced Denise Kielholtz in Dubai. Instead, she's forced to watch from the sidelines once more. And here's what makes this even more painful. There has been no replacement announced for Kielholtz. The Dutch fighter, who hasn't competed since 2023, was finally set to make her return. Now her future on the card remains uncertain. Will the PFL find her a new opponent? Will the fight be rescheduled? These questions remain unanswered, adding to the frustration surrounding this situation. On Wednesday, Dakota Ditcheva broke her silence, and what she shared with her fans was nothing short of heartbreaking. Taking to Instagram, the usually composed champion revealed the emotional toll this withdrawal has taken on her. I am blessed. It wasn't meant to be, Dakota wrote, a mantra she's been repeating to herself as she processes this devastating setback. But those words couldn't hide the pain behind them. I'm truly heartbroken. I won't be fighting in PFL Dubai anymore, she continued. I cried